And welcome back, everyone. Next big topic is data. Hands up if you have data quality problems in your organization. Come on, the rest of you. Like, hands up if you're in denial about the data quality problems in your organization. There is, of course, only one company on the planet that has good data quality. That is, of course, SAP, as you can see in this slide that introduced me earlier this morning. It is indeed Elliot with two T's. But we are now going to talk about unleashing your data with SAP Business Data Cloud. And I am proud to announce that Gaurish Dessai with two S's will come and do the presentation. Come on up. Welcome, warm round of welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Okay.
No, you're going to say, well, we're looking at a brownfield because we need...
Okay. Before we start, I have my 6-year-old daughter tuning into the live stream. So, hello, Leela. So I have to wave at her before I start. Also, I have to give you a disclaimer that don't take me too seriously today, right? BDC is an evolving topic, so it's just announced on 13th of February, so whatever you see today might change tomorrow, okay? So we'll start with that. A wise man told me there has never been a better time to be an enterprise architect, right? Where is he? He's hiding somewhere. But I would like to flip that today and say there has never been a better time to be a data architect. How many of you come from a data architecture analytics background, right? The world is generating more data than ever. Biggest organizations, they're generating petabytes of data from IoT, transactional, customer experience, all of that, petabytes of data being generated and put together in legacy architectures, right? Plus, all the CIOs are pushing everybody to drive AI use cases. So on the top of the legacy architectures, you are building AI use cases which are fraught with data quality issues. What does that mean? That means in next few years, we'll see tremendous push in building good data capabilities in the organization. So if you're a data architect, you are even doing better than an enterprise architect. How many of you can relate to this meme? Right? So what have we done? We have built architecture which is fraught with problems, right? So we have taken really good data from our SAP systems which had amazing data models built in, right? And then we have crushed it, right? And then we have transferred it to a different system. And now we are trying to build the semantics back, right? What have we lost? We have lost the context of that data, right? That is what you see. Every organization, I can challenge you, will have one Excel sheet, which if deleted, can make the organization stop, right? That Excel sheet has all the business context, all the product hierarchies, all the customer hierarchies. If you take that piece out, if you're leaving the organization, you might want to do that, but so this is how we have what we have arrived at today. And on top of that, we are trying to juggle two things, traditional analytics and AI use cases, right? So it's like a balancing act. What will change, right? So SAP did a very extensive study of IT leaders as well as business leaders and of very, very large organizations to understand what are the challenges that they face, okay? Only 34% of business leaders actually believe that their data is good enough. And 55% of business leaders and IT leaders have told that they have massive data quality issues, right? What has that led to? If you can't trust your data today, how are you going to trust any AI use cases that you're going to build on top of that, right? And if you see the forums, if you read on Hugging Face, there's a lot of debate going on between two factions. One faction which believes that AI doesn't need clean data. AI will itself understand what is clean and what is not clean and give you the answers. The other faction is like, we have to feed the data we have to feed clean data into AI so we get the right answers. I clearly belong to the second faction. Anyone who thinks over here that AI can deal with data quality issues? Oh, thank you. Right? So what is SAP's outlook on this? SAP, as you've seen Jason, Ranjit, Anya, Ted talk about the business suite and AI first strategy, right? SAP is thinking long term on this direction. What are we doing over here? With Business Data Cloud, we are developing the next evolution of Business Data Fabric. So it's Business Data Fabric 2.0, where we bring together what we call insight apps, okay? SAP DataSphere, Analytics Cloud, and the new partnership with Databricks all together. And we'll unpeel each of these layers as we go today. And also, later on, we'll have a Q&A at the booth. So we'll go through it all. If you have any questions, we can take them later on as well. But most important thing, what you have to know is that BDC is going to be one product under one license. Even though it is made up of multiple components, it all comes together under one license as one product. It is going to be SAP managed SaaS solution, okay? And it introduces this few new concepts of data products, of insight apps, of the Databricks partnership, and we'll unpeel that as we go, right? So let's start with data products. How many of you or your organizations already work on the concept of data products? Doesn't matter which solution you use, but I have one hand over here. Anyone else? Right. So it's not a new concept. There are other toolings which have been using the concept of data products quite widely. But what is a data product? Data product is basically a fully contained business data set which makes sense on its own, right? So for example, over here, and I'll go into the details, it brings the right data at the right place with the right context, okay? So it can be reused across the organization, okay? And this is possible with what we have done with BDC, right? With help of Databricks, with help of DataSphere, all of that comes together. So let's look at two kind of data products that we are going to make available in future. So we have something called as primary data products, which take the right data from the source systems like S4HANA, like LOB solutions, brings it up into BDC, okay, and makes it reusable and available to all users, all use cases, okay? Taking those primary data products, you can create something called as derived data products, okay? Here you can see asset management and workforce is the primary data product, on top of which you build a derived data product called training impact, okay? That data product, once it's available to you in BDC, you can do anything with it. You can use it for your AI use cases. You can use it for your traditional analytics. It remains there. You don't have to lift and shift data. You don't have to destroy the context of that data product, right? That data product remains in DataSphere. The context remains over there. The data doesn't flow out of the system. Next part, the Insight app. Insight app is a combination of SAC stories with analytical models and inbuilt AI on top of that, right? So this brings the traditional analytics and AI together in one place. They are bringing all of these data products to the end user. So from an end user's point of view, data product doesn't make full sense to them. So when you want to surface the data product to the end user, that's where the Insight app comes into picture. In future, we want the data products to be built by customers and partners. Right now, a lot of data products and Insight apps would be made available by SAP. So every SAP solution, whether it's S4HANA private cloud, public cloud, line of business solutions, is currently working to build data products on their own, and they will also be building data insight apps of their own. So you can again consume this as a service, right? from BDC. What that enables you is you have AI and analytics come together, and you can do natural language querying on top of that with what we call Joule Just Ask. How many of you have seen Joule Just Ask? Right? So it allows you to bring together the structured data from SAP as well as the unstructured data. That brings me to the next slide, which is very important. Michelle, are you there? So we have our partner Databricks, which is the new partnership which is announced, right? What it allows us to do, SAP is really good at tabular structured data. We have taken the entire ABAP dictionary and put it into our knowledge graph, like Ted mentioned earlier, so that we have the complete context of all the tables, all the fields within SAP, right? What Databricks allows us to do is to bring in the unstructured data from any other sources that you might be using, whether it's your hyperscaler or whether it's your existing data lake. All of that comes together in one place, right? And with Databricks, you have two key concepts to note over here. One is what we call a zero-copy delta share protocol, which allows you to bidirectionally share the data outside of SAP, outside of BDC, as well as with back into BDC. Okay? What it allows us to do is allows us to consume the data products into other use cases, or allows us to use Databricks AI ML capabilities to build AI use cases on top of that. Also, there is a concept called Unity Catalog, right, which allows you to take the data products and surface them within Databricks together with unstructured data, right? So it's a combination of AI, ML, and unstructured data together, which has been made possible by the partnership with Databricks. So all of that, all three pieces come together in this level of architecture, where if you see, we have all the SAP sources at the bottom, right? Each of these sources will define a data product which can be brought into BDC by something called as a foundational service. This is again managed by SAP, and those data products would be exposed within DataSphere and within Databricks, right? Once the data products are available within Databricks and DataSphere, you can catalog them, you can share them, and you can use the information to build your own derived data products or data use cases. And finally, within Insight app, all of that comes together and goes into the SAC together with Joule to provide you traditional analytics as well as AI. Don't be too eager to start exploring BDC. We have what we call a controlled availability right now. So it's only available within AWS data centers in US and Frankfurt. The plan is then to roll out Tokyo in Q2. And then it will be available on all GCP data centers, and lastly on Azure data centers. So by 2025, it will be available on GCP, Azure, as well as AWS. So bringing it all together, BDC is an SAP-managed SaaS solution, whether it's data products or whether it's Insight apps. It unifies all the SAP as well as non-SAP structured, unstructured data together in form of Databricks and Unity Catalog. It adds the Insight app layer, which allows the business users to get traditional analytics as well as AI in one place. It's also a path to BW modernization. And this is a big topic. I won't be kind of diving deep into BW modernization, but me, Michelle, and Pia will be at the booth in the afternoon. So if you have any questions on that, we can take those questions specifically over there. What Databricks also allows you to do is not having to take out all the data into multiple third-party data and AI services. It has its own AI ML capabilities on top of which you can use the data products, whether it's unstructured or structured, and build AI ML custom use cases. And finally, it allows you, or allows SAP as well, to bring in partner ecosystem who can build new data products as well as new Insight app, right? Before I close, how many of you have a data strategy in place in your organization? And how many of you have data strategy which looks something like this, right? Every time there is a new new data leader or a CIO, the first thing that they do is they revise their data strategy, right? So a lot of data strategies end up looking like this: static, non-revised in some presentation or Word document. What we want to encourage you as enterprise architects, or us as enterprise architects, is to take this moment of BDC launch to rethink your data strategy a little bit and make sure that it's future ready, right? We have a short white paper, article, whatever you want to call it, which we go into a bit more of details of how to build something like that, how to rethink that with keeping in mind data quality issues, keeping in mind what's there available with BDC, etc. So feel free to download that. And finally, plugging into Paul's comment on the next kind of events happening on this specific topic. So if you're in the US, feel free to kind of join into any of this event. We'll be going into more details of BDC as more things come and evolve, right? Also, if you have any questions, me, Pia, will all be at the booth. So feel free to join us and kind of ask us any questions that you have.
And the reception?
And the reception as well, yes. Thank you very much.
Well, so tell more what you're going to be doing at the reception. You have a little corner, right?
Yes. So at the reception, me, Pia, will be at a small corner on the side. And if you have any questions about Databricks, Michelle is the person to ask that. She has everything to kind of talk about with Databricks. And we're also going to talk about BW modernization if you are interested in it. Okay?
Take a picture of us.
Before I close. No, it's not closed. So before I close, so this is a very special event for me. Why is that? So last year in February, when Paul did this event, he took all the content and he put it on YouTube, right? And I was in process of applying for my current role at SAP because it's just been 8 months now, right? And I watched all the sessions which Paul, Feroz, Jason, Ranjit had put together, and it was superb. So just a shout out to Paul. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to come back over here and present this year.
I can't believe I almost cut that part out. One question?
Can we ask some questions now? Or no?
Yeah, look, we have a few minutes for questions.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Couple of minutes.
Sounds good.
So yesterday I was asking the same question to Steph.
So 1 second, we'll get you a microphone so that the folks at streaming can hear. Then we got room for like one question, two? Okay.
So yesterday I was asking the same question. A couple of questions actually, not just one.
Okay, dial down expectations.
Okay. So as on today, SAP does provide business content for both DataSphere and also SAC, and together also sometimes.
Yes.
The user stories, corresponding user stories for the data set that we brought over to DataSphere or whatever.
Correct.
How is this going to change that? Because this is another layer around the business content that is provided for both the DataSphere and the SAC user stories.
Correct.
That is
Bottom
question
line,
number
it's better. Next question.
That's part number one.
Yes.
Let me actually finish the second
All
part.
right, let's do that one.
Before I forget.
Let's do that one first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll not go into details right now, but that's exactly what I want to talk to about if you want to join us later on in BW modernization, which we have provided a path on how to take your existing BW investments into BDC.
No, it was not BW that I was referring to. I was actually referring to DataSphere and then SAC alone. I mean,
so whatever is in your existing data sphere, we consider as a brownfield, and we will provide a fully seamless path to take it into BDC.
And the customers' investments are still safeguarded.
Yes, absolutely.
The DataSphere, the investments went into the latest and the greatest of the products as of last year, which is the DataSphere and SACs of the world.
With DataSphere, we provide something called as rewiring, which will allow you to bring your DataSphere into BDC.
And basically what's new is the data products, it's as a service, the Insight apps, and the Databricks integration. That's like the summary.
consider the customers, I mean, who also have Databricks in their landscape alongside
Yes.
the SAP products?
There
I mean,
is a path both for existing Databricks customer, which we call brownfield, as well as new Databricks customer for greenfield. We can discuss.
Thank you.
And that's why Databricks is with you this
Exactly.
week. Yep. Great. So since he took those two questions,
All right.
lots of time to go
I
to the
got
booth. Sorry.
one for
Thank
you, Gaurish. So why did the data architect cross the road? Because the semantic bridge was no longer supported.
I'll use that next time.
Of course, we are supporting the semantic
Yes.
bridge. Okay. All right, flag time.
Flag time.
Come join us. You go in the middle.
Middle. Oh, you're in the middle. Timo's got it.
I got it. All right.
You're new.
And we got to keep it level.
3 of them.
Yeah, I know, right? Put the paparazzi.
I'm not paying all you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, Gaurish. Gaurish. All right.